Got the Islanders taking on Minnesota, 17-18. Minnesota laying a $1.45 at home. Definitely not the monstrous price they were the other night against Vancouver when they got picked off and shut out by the Vancouver Canucks 1-0. Unbelievable job by the Canucks. What a road trip for them. The Vancouver Canucks put together, including handing this Minnesota Wild team. I'm telling you, and I've done this a few times over the years. Alex has, I know as well. You take your shot sometimes, fading the Minnesota Wild, laying these monster prices at home, and sometimes you're going to be a better off for it, and your bankroll is going to be better off for it. I mean, they're just a team that I cringe and I bite my fingernails when I am laying minus 180 or 70 with this team. They just don't blow anybody out. Everything's close. Everything's tight. You're worried right to the last second if you're going to cash your ticket. They are not the kind of team I trust in a massive favorite role. It's just never been that way with the Minnesota Wild, and they proved it the other night against Vancouver. Now you got to take on this Islanders team. Minnesota's not going to be happy. You would expect Minnesota to bring it here tonight after getting shut out by Vancouver at home. The Islanders are a very erratic, inconsistent team. To me, tough for me to get involved with, but from a pure price perspective, I'm not looking to lay a price right now with Minnesota. There's a better price than the other night. Minus 145 is reasonable, but I'm going to end up staying away in the end. But I know one guy that's not staying away from this hockey game. That's Alex B. Smith, his local team there, Minnesota, of course, where he's living now. What do you think about the Wild here tonight as they host the Isles?
I still don't get why on earth bookmakers are giving Minnesota the credit and favoring this team right now. You look at how bad they played. It was a tightly defensive game. The Wild outshot the Canucks on Tuesday, 29-25, but it was that one goal, midway in the third. That's all Vancouver needed. Nilsson was spectacular in net for the most part. But this Minnesota team offensively, when you have Chris Stewart leading your team in points, he has 6 goals and 2 assists. That's not really a good sign, especially you got guys like Mikko Koivu, Nino Niederreiter, and Michael Granlund. Niederreiter and Granlund have 0 points so far this year, and those guys really have to step up now. We know Parise is going to be out another 8 to 12 weeks with the, recovering from the back surgery. So somebody else besides Chris Stewart got to step up for the Wild offensively, and looking at the Isles going back to last year, they've won 9 of their last 13 games on the road, and they've won 6 of the last 10 meetings against the Wild. So nice plus price here. I'm definitely looking to play on the Islanders tonight.
All right, Islanders at a plus price for Alex B. Smith. And you're right, I love Chris Stewart's game. Chris Stewart's one of those great teammates, going to drop the gloves, stick up for you, be physical, try to change the momentum of a game. Great forechecker as well, pot in some goals for you. But when he's one of your leading scorers, you got issues. That's all there is to it. You got issues, and Minnesota does in that regard. And even Devin Dubnyk, and defensively, they've been a little bit erratic so far this season. Dubnyk, again, has had some good games, some not so good games early on. We've got Dana, too, with a thought on this Islanders Wild game. Dana, what are you looking at here?
Well, just a note on this guy. Thomas Greiss is going to start, and not Halak tonight for the Islanders. That has been confirmed, and of course Dubnyk is probable. But look, we're still looking at another club here in complete desperation, and not only in desperation to get a win, but desperation to get a home win. I mean, there's nothing more embarrassing than to not play well at home. And I think that the Minnesota Wild are a better team just flat out than the Islanders right now. And I think they're going to have a much better performance tonight. You look at Zucker and Koivu and Granlund. I mean, Granlund, first of all, this is a second game coming back from his groin injury. So you figure that I never, again, we go back to guys coming back. I always think it takes them 2 to 3 games to really get back to who they are as players. So I think that we're going to get a much better effort out of that line tonight. I think, in fact, they're going to have a huge game. The one thing for the Islanders that's kind of gone under the radar, with Josh Hosang getting sent back to Bridgeport, it's kind of that mini Vadim Shipachyov thing there. Right? You kind of just, although Hosang is actually bringing something offensively, I don't know how that kind of resonates with his departure. I know, and listening to some scouts, there was. Maturity was a word that came up a lot. Individual. He played as an individual. That came up a lot. But honestly, I mean, he was pretty responsible on both ends of the ice. He was pretty good offensively, and I wonder how that kind of is going to affect the Islanders not having him on the team. And that might, hey, look, it might affect them positively, because when you can scratch your head and just go, I don't really understand why this guy is being sent down, usually because it's something internal. So maybe that does act to the positive. But again, I don't overreact in game one. I see that positiveness coming through in game 2 and 3 when new line mates can become more cohesive. This is a Wild team that's done pretty well at home against teams that struggle on the road. In fact, that the Islanders, they still struggle on the road as they did last year, and they're 2-4 again this season. So I have no problem. I see a little bit better price. I haven't looked since the show began, but I thought I had $1.44 at Pinnacle. So I have no problem laying that tonight, and a team that's desperate against a team that I'm not really sure where their locker room is right now.
All right, so we got differing thoughts there. Alex with the Islanders, Dana with the Wild. Yeah, for me, it's a pass. I said that. I'll tell you what, Jordan Eberle's carried his invisible act over from Edmonton. Hasn't scored yet this season for the New York Islanders. They have won 3 in a row, but guess what? Arizona, winless. San Jose, again, I don't really love them as much this year. And the New York Rangers have been largely a dumpster fire to this point. So this is going to still be a little bit of a step up for the Islanders. We'll see if they can get it done here. But Minnesota, again, how much of a step up? It's a Minnesota team that's 0-5 their last 5 home games dating back to last year. So something's got to give there. A game I won't be involved in, but we wish Alex and Dana the best with that.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to our channel. Now, we've put a lot of work into producing all these free videos, so please help us out and keep all our content free for you forever by simply liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Now, not to mention, a visit to our industry-leading website will warm the hearts of all our SBR employees, especially myself. Now, the links are over there to the left, so do check those out. Thanks for watching.